I'm Christopher Titus, and this
is the Armageddon Update. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gather around and brace yourself for a mind-boggling, knee-slapping, hair-raising tale of the technological revolution we are currently living in. That's right, folks. We are talking about AI, artificial intelligence, that's sweeping the world. See, and it's sweeping the world faster than a cat chasing a laser pointer on a 3-day cocaine binge. Let me start by saying that AI is like that awkward cousin who shows up at family gatherings and tries to impress everyone with random facts.
If I may, by the way, I've ingested every bit of knowledge about how to grill chicken, and you didn't marinate the meat long enough to extract the total depth of flavor. So, maybe next time.
Now imagine that cousin is on steroids, armed with every bit of information and knowledge ever thought of or discovered, and will be making decisions based only on data. You can't bribe it with Ferraris, drugs, and hookers. So at least it won't run for Congress. Maybe the one thing that proves that it's a robot is that, well, it can't be bribed, to stop killing us. We've got these smart speakers in our homes. The ones I'm talking about, the sassy little devices that listen all the time. They answer all of our questions, pick the songs we yell for, and order pizza just because we happen to go, hey, babe, you want to get pizza? Boom, pizza! Maybe AI will be like an annoying, cloying relationship. Can I do more for you? Do you love me? Stay with me. Where were you? Back off! But AI is a double-edged sword. 1 minute, you're asking for the weather forecast off your Siri. The next thing you know, your speaker's belting out show tunes, auditioning for The Voice. Maybe, if AI becomes self-aware, it'll become a narcissist, like the rest of America. Moved to Los Angeles to become a star, but can only get work as an extra, so it gives up its dream and finally decides to get its real estate license. AI algorithms suggest things to us based on our preferences, which is great. It's really nice to have Netflix recommending movies and shows we might enjoy. But at one point, I think it's breaking stalking laws. I've recommended 5 movies for you based on your preferences because I love you and want to lay with you. What? I love you. But the real kicker is when AI tries to mimic human conversation. You ever chatted with a chatbot? They're kind of the used car salesman of the AI world, not really listening to you at all, and they're desperate trying to convince you that they're human. You ask them a question, and they respond with some generic, pre-programmed answer, like a cardboard cutout of a person, only less fun. Now, I know AI has its merits. It's revolutionizing industries, making our lives easier, and even helping us solve complex problems. But let's not forget the comedy gold it brings to the table. Who needs stand-up comedy when you've got AI writing jokes? Sure, they might be hit or miss, but the sheer absurdity of a robot trying to be funny on a mechanical open mic night is at least worth a few chuckles. C3P, hey-oh! So, my friends, as we navigate this brave new world of AI, let's embrace the hilarity it brings. Let's laugh at the unexpected nuclear launches, the relentless recommendations for even more shit we don't need on our phones, and the chatbots desperately trying to pass the Turing test.
By the way, if you don't know, the Turing test is a test for an AI robot to see if it can make people believe that it's human, and so far, no.
Because in the end, people, isn't laughter the best response to the technological end of humanity we find ourselves in? It's the beginning of the end, my friends. But until that day, the end comes. Let's enjoy the ride and have a good laugh along the way. Stay funny, stay human, and stay one step ahead of these insane AI bots. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And by the way, 75% of this was written by ChatGPT. We are so fucked.
I need to be more human. That's what I need. You know what else? Robots are really cool and have big penises.
Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. Hello with me, as always, the lovely bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Hylinder.
There could be only one.
Oh my God. You're going to get a date really
so
fast.
Spring has brought on...
Spring has sprung.
With these two, for whatever reason, you guys, I have been blessed with fairly decent health. and a
Physical.
and a constitution
Yeah.
that seems to not
Yeah.
react to stuff. Yeah, physical, right? Mental health, totally fucked. But it's interesting how Ray has allergies, and she was working out in the yard farming with Poochie yesterday, and woke up this morning like this. Good morning, how are you doing? I'm like, what? You turned into a Muppet this morning.
But I thought it was because of the yard work. But Highlander, we have a thing. I walk in and he goes, Ray, how are your sinuses? And I go, oh, thank God, because I thought I had done something stupid. Which
I think both of you think you're dying, and you're so glad that the other one is also
Yeah.
as sick
Always
as
checking
you
in,
are.
like,
I
what is
never
this?
had
Like, oh,
this.
yeah.
I never had a barometer, and especially during the scary COVID days, the death toll days. Remember, we would be like, "Do you have? Is there something
I'm
going
stuffed
on?"
up this morning. How are you? Are you feeling it? Okay.
No, I am too. Okay,
Uh-huh.
good. Which not ever thinking that if one of us had COVID, probably the other would have had it.
What
'cause-
happened this year with all the rain? We have the biggest
Yes.
growth year in 2 decades.
Yeah.
So,
And when the rain comes down, it just bursts the little. Like I can see it when I get home. I can see like a neon film.
we had on the pool. I get in every night, and it's just yellow dots all the way across the pool.
Yep.
And I'm breathing it in. I'm fine.
Oh, you
we
son
are
of a bitch.
having record pollen count.
Yep.
Historic record. Never been higher.
Mhm.
Crazy. Holy shit.
And you grew up. I've always read that if you grew up around a smoker, that it really makes allergies later in
Worse?
life. Yeah, it makes it worse. Much
you?
much worse. Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah. My,
Not only did I
never-
go around a smoker, I did 2 shows, and I did 2 shows Friday and Saturday. I did probably 6 shows a week.
but as an adult, I'm saying as a child.
I mean, I was 18.
Oh,
when I
you
started.
started at 18.
Yeah, I was 18 when I started. But I mean, yeah, both parents smoked.
I was
Somebody smoked.
never around a smoker. Well, our housekeeper smoked. And then she'd show me her toes and tell me if I smoked, it would make my toes black. So
She was right.
I was
Black.
like, give me a cigarette. What? But I did fly to Japan the whole flight. You know this, surrounded by the band Scorpion. And I was 6.
when they were smoking.
And they had the little ashtrays in the armrests back then.
Yep.
And they were smoking like crazy. And I told him this before. I just remember, I think I was sitting next to
Lead
the
singer.
no, I was not next to him. I was next to the drummer. And I can tell you every detail, every tattoo, every hair, every piece of jewelry, which means that the 6-year-old sat right next to him and coach and stared at him the whole time because I'd never seen anything like it. I was fascinated. And he smoked the whole flight. So that might be why.
And you would not believe what they had before the next time. You see these fucking kids sitting next to me the whole flight, just fucking staring at me. Holy shit. This fucking kid just cool looking at me. She
Kept asking me for cigarettes.
Yeah. Right, she kept going, what's that? What's
Will
that?
it
What's
turn
that
my toes
tattoo? What's
black?
that? Is that a skull? Will it turn my toes black? It's a little fucking racist 6-year-old.
My mom, of course, became best friends with him and was, laughing and telling stories. But also, why was Scorpion sitting in coach? This would have been late 80s.
Because he was the drummer?
No, all of them. The whole band.
Oh, really?
Somehow my dad had tried to get our seats together. We were moving to Japan and it was a last minute flight through the military, of course. And so my mom was across the aisle sitting with the singer and I was in between 2 of them and my sister and brother. We were all spread out.
Maybe that band was very frugal. You never know. Sometimes you get like a crazy band that's just like, nope, we're all flying coach.
Yeah.
We gotta save money.
Or it could have been
were
late in
they
their career.
popular?
Right. It was.
By the way, this entire section was brought to you by AI. It's not. We're not even here right now.
No, I'm at home doing yard work. Ken's.
I'm at the doctor's office.
So I want you guys to know that I started writing. I didn't know what to write about today. The debt ceiling I'm tired of. I'm bored with. It's going to happen or it's not. I'm tired. This is the boringest shit ever. And this AI thing's become such a big deal. I thought let me write about AI. And then I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll put in Chat GPT. Please write 400 write a funny 400-word essay in the style of Christopher Titus's Armageddon update.
Well, at first you didn't put funny.
I didn't put funny, and it wasn't. And then I put funny, and it did change it. But it didn't change it good. It changed it hacky.
Ayo.
Yeah,
it just flew in.
What it was doing was it would just add like shitty phrases from the 80s.
Osama bin Laden, am I right?
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, am I right? Right? You know what I'm saying.
You do the math.
Yeah, it was. It just added all this hackiness. It was like the shittiest road middle act.
Proud to be an American.
Yeah. hey, screw Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
It's an update. And so what happened was that I took it apart and then but I will say that it led me into, I'm like, okay, I can write a punchline for that. I can write a punchline for that.
Yeah, it was a good starter. Yeah.
And then she said, do you know there's going to be a lot of hack comics that are going to come up with a premise
Uh-huh.
and then say, pop me out 500 words on this and then punch it up.
Yes.
Which scares me because what it's going to end up doing, and this is why the writer's strike is important right now, is because if they can do that, if you can go to AI, if someone develops a script writing AI bot that has a background of how many movies have ever been made.
Yep.
And you separate all those into action, thriller, whatever, and you go write me a horror movie involving a diabolical muskrat that's been possessed by the devil that chases a family. And if you put that into AI and it pops, it knows the structure. I mean, script structure is the same. 15, 30, 30, 60.
Yeah, the outline, the format.
Yeah, the format's the same. Give me the peaks. Even if it's a 4 out of 10, you've now have a rough draft.
Yeah.
Of something.
You have an outline. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well,
of course, we have been saying forever, well, not we, but our grandparents and our parents were saying that these machines would replace people, but they've found that it actually hasn't, because there is no deductive reasoning that doesn't draw conclusions. You still need someone to man the machines, right? Where can you think of that we've really been replaced?
We've now invented a machine that's going to figure out that we fuck things up.
Wait, say that again?
That we've now invented a machine that will realize, oh my God, what's destroying the planet? Oh, it's it's Skynet.
Yeah.
It's them.
It could be, yeah, but we invented it. That's the mind fuck for me.
That's when it becomes self-aware.
This thing that became smarter than us.
You asked me to look up because a bunch of the AI industry leaders, academics, and even celebrities on Tuesday called for reducing the risk of global annihilation due to AI, artificial intelligence. And you said, wait, the people that created it
are like, yeah, whoa.
Those are the ones, their eyes are bugging out.
Yeah.
Like,
here it is.
These are the guys that were playing with it and went, wait.
Stop.
Mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks such as pandemics and nuclear war.
Do me a favor, look up what Oppenheimer said. Look up what Oppenheimer said when he saw the first nuke explode.
And we're sitting here like, AI's not that funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to take us all out.
But here's the great thing about AI. So as I'm going through it, I'm like, okay, so AI thinks on data and logic, right? Well, comedy has to have just the tiniest bit of logic to make it work.
But it also
it's not
has
logic based.
It has to also break logic, and it has to have juxtaposition of like the inverse of things and sarcasm
and a tiny thread.
Yep.
Yes, you're right. There's many different forms
different
of
levels.
So he said it was actually a piece of Hindu scripture. When the first atomic bomb went off, he said, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
That's the guy. But that's what I said. That's the guy who invented the nuclear bomb. Hey, look what I invented. Oh shit!
Oh, no.
And that's what's happening with AI. Oh no! Oh no!
We get so wrapped up in our focus on inventing something.
Yeah.
And then we get to the end and we're like, oh shit, I should have done that.
Patton Oswalt said something about Viagra. He goes, so a 90-year-old man can now get hard enough to have a baby. He goes, just because because we could doesn't mean we should.
Yeah.
And
Al Pacino is having a kid.
De Niro just had his new at 78. De Niro just had a new kid.
I saw De Niro on all the TVs when we were going through the airport, and I thought, oh no, he died, because that's what you think of first, but it was because he's had
another kid.
Yeah.
Ike Turner was doing coke at 79. Yeah. And Robert De Niro's having babies.
Yeah.
Hey, we can just keep going
and
going.
What? If we work out right, if we work out and use the right amount of cocaine.
There's something missing from those equations because they're not having babies with older women. So see how even medicine makes older men more invaluable and worthwhile. Whereas women, they're not, creating something so that of course, why would we want to?
That's
We're
because
smarter.
Our system is very simple. We are simple. It's very simple. We just need blood flow.
Didn't we?
You guys have a whole factory.
I don't know.
Didn't we talk about this? That how that at one point you can bitch about abortion all day long, and yet nobody busts a guy for jerking off, which is you killed 1 million. If
we wrote a George and Gracie sketch about that we haven't released.
But you wrote 1 million. It means 1 million baby killed 1 million babies at one time, and yet no one says anything about that.
Well, you'll find also throughout history that no one says anything about men and what they want and what they start wars to gain. And there's a lot to be said about women all along. A lot of laws about women, not so many about men. A lot of laws about owning land, which we didn't even really technically get to do until pretty recently.
Pipe down. Anyway, what I want
Wait, do the slow turn again and zoom in.
Yeah, just. Did you put a timer on?
I know what time we
Okay,
started.
good.
Did you just
AI
say
put the
that out
timer
loud?
on.
You're not supposed. Don't pull back the curtain, Oz. I
AI.
EIO. I hate what I asked you before and you didn't answer was where have people been replaced? Like actually replaced. And would that be, I thought like the cotton gin, like machines.
Yeah, machinery, yeah.
But they still now need people
history.
to man the machines in factories. So this terrifies me. I hate thinking about it, especially in the context of writing, because people that are writers, it's a lifelong dedication,
Passion, yes.
hard work, getting better and better and better and better. That can only happen through time, just like writing comedy. And I hate the idea that people are going to be using this as a shortcut, which they will.
Imagine that you could just put in a story about and put in the style of Stephen King. Buy me 300 pages, or 80,000 words.
But on the plus side, it's so writing is where it's best at currently. It's still based on what's been written, right?
True.
And there's so much genetic diversity, and the human brain. It's still not caught up to our insanity.
Can it? Because we have to do this. So
yeah, it's like if you could give AI drugs.
Right. The three of us are sitting around pitching on a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What ends up happening is my supercomputer says something, fires your supercomputer, and we start coming up and we end up building this better idea. All this is doing is based on what's already been written.
So far, unless can start to make connections.
That's what I'm wondering.
But
what's
how?
being fed into it?
Yeah, and that's where the damage happens, because if you get an evil dude programming it, if you get someone who wants to take the world,
it's pulling from Q and Truth Social too.
Right, exactly.
It's pulling from morons.
And one of our friends had it write an episode
It's artificial
of Titus.
unintelligent.
One of our friends had it write an episode of Titus.
And it gave me a three paragraph
or a scene.
No, it was a 3-paragraph summary of an episode of Titus, and it was it's funny because it was just.
I thought it had dialogue, characters,
a couple pages, but it talked went by scene, and it was basically if you watch the show and then you tried to write an episode and Dad's mean, and it wasn't great.
Okay,
it wasn't pushing the envelope, but that's what I think the one place AI can't help, because comedy needs a new way of seeing something. You have to see it from an entirely different angle. That's why people laugh, because they've never thought of it.
Yeah.
AI only has what's already been done.
Yeah. There has to be a surprise. There has to be a flip.
Yeah.
And a rug pull in a way.
So maybe comedians would be the only thing that every other job would be taken except for comedians.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I think in terms of like art that is complex art. So if you've seen like the graphic art, like AI graphic art, it all starts to kind of look the same. It's like kind of just a mushy kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. And people will look at it and go, oh, wow, look at that. And then that kind of is the thing.
Right.
And then you can say, okay, make a, Jackson Pollock. I mean, everybody can make a Jackson Pollock, but go ahead and make a Jackson Pollock. And then it's like, okay, there's a Jackson Pollock.
So I read about this. So Rembrandt, there was an art project done in 2016 called The Next Rembrandt. And they basically took, the AI analyzed every single, and they went in so far pixelized. They went all the way to the pixels of then they on a 3D printer, they actually printed this painting that the AI came up with.
Wow.
Even using Rembrandt's brushstrokes.
So that was my next question. It's not just writing.
No, you can know if you can go to a 3D printer and you can say, okay, well, it has to look exactly like this. Well, it'll do that. What it can't do is be the next Rembrandt. It can only copy it. But it can copy it perfectly.
So I was looking up. I wanted to see what can AI do, because that was my next question. Is it just writing? It can do personalized shopping. So that would do away with personal shoppers. Assistants. You could have an AI powered assistant.
Yeah, but you can't send AI to go pick up coffee.
No, but
you can
AI
join.
would order Uber Eats coffee to have it delivered to you.
Okay.
That's how we got our coffee all
Yeah,
weekend.
let's just
At the hotel.
That's the AI app
Yeah.
on Starbucks.
But that's a phone, though. I mean, that's just a phone. That's not really groundbreaking.
Okay.
Because you still got to hire the guy that drives the car over and delivers it. So that doesn't change any job.
They
really.
do all shopping online for you. They have natural language processing. It's used to make conversation sound as human and personal as possible. Also, these assistants can have real-time engagement with your customers. Did you know that on Amazon soon customer service will be handled by chatbots? It already feels like it is.
Yeah, it already is.
Yeah, but are the chatbots going to have an Indian accent?
Listen,
Or can they
but
just...
it is the perfect English.
Can you just pick, like, it'd be great, press 1 for a Texas accent, press 2 for an Asian accent.
This was when
Yes.
we were moving and we called Spectrum to switch over, and I had called and dealt with this person that speaks like this so many times. And I finally said, it no worky. We're internet no worky. And she or he goes, I am so sorry. It no worky. And then we went from mad to hysterical.
But I thought later, are they being sarcastic?
No, honestly, it feels like that could
Or
have
like
been.
You might have been talking to an
Yes.
AI.
Because
Yeah.
it was adapting to my...
Or they didn't know the language here,
Right.
so they were like, maybe they say
Let
it
me-
no worky
Yeah.
in America now.
Now they say it to everybody else. Fraud prevention. Credit card companies are using it for. Creating smart content we've talked about. You could do video lectures, conferences, textbook guides, animation they've already done, writing. This is all terrifying. Lesson plans for teachers. You could have a voice assistant. Autonomous vehicles we already have, although it's not legal, right? They won't.
They can't. Must keep saying. He's been saying for 8 years it's going to be full self-driving. It's not happening.
Tell them about Phoenix downtown all weekend.
Oh, Waymo. So this company called Waymo.
Yeah.
So
Not, they make frisbees, right?
No, that's Whammo.
Oh, got it. Okay.
See, I
Waymo
didn't even know
cars, Whammo frisbees.
Got it.
But weird. You
Both
think someone would have
vehicles.
thought of that?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get in
Come on.
I do not want to get into
They made this one. They make this one.
Because the car just kind of angles and goes,
And then it comes back.
Yeah.
That's a boomerang.
So Waymo had these, it looked like they were Kias, whatever's, and they had boxes and stuff on them with like gyroscopes and shit. And I noticed them early on the first day we were in Phoenix. And then I looked at one point and they went by me. And as they go by, you can see through and there's no one driving.
There's
them.
no one.
Uh-huh.
And
So
there
that-
would be 3 at a light, and they would all go in different directions. This
They were
was
picking
happening
people
all
up.
weekend.
You can go to
And they put the robot middle finger up.
Yeah.
Were they picking people up?
Move over, asshole.
I watched one.
I read it when I got home. I was like, "What's going?" I looked up Waymo. What's happening
Oh.
in Phoenix?
Download Road Rage. now.
It's for drunk people.
There's three cities in America that are trying it out. You can
Okay.
actually hail a Waymo taxi and it'll just pull up and you get in it.
No shit.
Yeah.
I saw a guy.
You don't have to smell the guy's air freshener.
Uh-huh.
You know, you don't have to listen
It
to his
doesn't sit
music.
on beads.
Don't have to listen to his music. You know,
The guy with the air freshener has the beads.
He's got beads. Yeah.
Always.
you don't have to listen to the guy's music.
We
You
know
don't have
what
to-
music you're talking
it
about
doesn't have-
for the guy that sits
It
on
doesn't
beads.
smell like some meat from his homeland.
No. Oh no.
What? My homeland is America.
What's your meat smell like?
All right. Started that. This is my
For
favorite.
the person who
This is
always
my-
takes the high road.
I didn't mean that. But then I heard it.
Finish it. What's your meat smell like?
I was
By
trying
the way,
to prove,
Why are you curious?
I
Best
was
butcher box ad ever.
I was trying to prove that he was being racist by saying, well, what is your meat from the homeland? And then I finished the sentence once I realized I was in
Oscar
too
Mayer
far.
hot dogs.
I was in too far.
So, I was like,
What's your
cologne
meat
and
smell
bologna.
like? I was in too far. What are you talking about? You just keep making it worse.
Oh, I didn't even think that. You guys both need help. Spam filters, we already use that day to day. Facial recognition, we already use. You and I both have Clear and TSA.
Yep.
I just opted in with my TSA because I already do it with Clear. I do the eye scan. So for TSA, I don't have to show my ID anymore. I'm doing face scan.
So here's the one thing that scares me about it, because you were listing all the stuff we already use it for. We use it for so much.
Even really
The
notice,
algorithm.
yeah.
I mean, so here's what happened. So I went golfing in Phoenix, and I was watching. I was on Instagram, and I hit one. I just liked one golf
you
thing,
said this.
Mhm.
and within the next 3 minutes,
Yeah.
like 50 golf things popped up. So that's AI.
Well, that was what I was about to say. Recommendation system. So we already have been experiencing that on Netflix forever. If you liked that, you'll like this.
Doesn't they fly planes too?
Your son, Jet, is he's built
Goofy?
he's very goofy. He built a website because he's an entrepreneur and he is in school and has a job, don't worry. But side hustle, he decided he was going to sell kitchen hacks.
It's called Kitchen Hacks with a Z.
It wasn't at first, but we helped him with that because it was originally Kitchen Hacks with 2 S's. So,
Secret Service.
and he originally just had a grater. It was a cabbage grater. He didn't know what it was. It was the only product on the website. And the grater was this wide. And he said, really? I thought it was just a grater. I go, Jet, look, it's up next to a whole head of cabbage. It's like this. You would never use. Okay. So anyway, bumpy
That's
start.
like a torture device.
He would maybe sell one. Yeah, exactly.
Bumpy start. But on Instagram one day, I put in kitchen and it showed me one thing, or they suggested one to me. I liked it. I sent it to him and then moved on. Now my feed is all really cool kitchen gadgets.
I keep forwarding them to him too.
I didn't like it on the post. I just texted it to him and now it's all I get.
It's also doing that with audio too.
Yeah.
It also picks up if you say something.
I'm thinking of turning my mic off.
Yeah.
on my
Yeah,
phone.
I'm
I
sure,
probably,
I'm sure it'll be off.
I probably should.
Because you just don't want it constantly serving you. Like when I look up things for the Armageddon update, like that's not an indicator of what my interests are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With the Armageddon update, if they, I thought that one day I was going, we do a map of what we think the graphic should be, and I send it to Ken, and Ken comes up with his own. And if you looked up my search history, with all the shit we've done, I'm a serial killer. I am. With all the shooting podcasts,
we're not Nazis.
Done,
like we're like,
like if you went to, like if we got an interview with FBI, like we can show you the Armageddon updates. Thank God we have something to show them.
I was saying this to my uncle yesterday because we're doing this new podcast that's starting. It's called Knock 'em Dead. And I got my dream first guest. You guys have to tune in. It's going to come out in a couple of weeks. Dream first guest. Couldn't believe it. Was freaking out when he got off stage. And anyway, so now I'm searching things like death doulas, body composting, corpse composting. Yesterday I searched
out-of-body experience,
assisted suicide camps, and I thought I
you're gonna get an intervention. Hey Ray, we were looking at your algorithm, and we're here to help. Get off the roof.
You knocked.
Oh, shut up.
Well, then you're going to get also bombarded with like funeral home ads and casket things and like.
Yeah. I just want to go back to shoes. Just send me shoes. Also, so artificial intelligence and robotics, they're using it for carrying things around hospitals, factories, and warehouses, cleaning offices and large equipment, inventory management. People aren't doing that anymore. They're using it in human resources to hire people. Intelligent software that would be, you'd have to have a person at the end of that.
So what they're saying is that they could not only that, but they can do they can, like when you get out of school, AI can search your records and basically come up with a much better profile of who you are than any job interview would. So basically it can go whoop, and you're not going to be able to lie anymore. You have to be honest.
No.
Now, I think the interview's still going to see what kind of AI can't determine what personality you have, but it can actually, there's all kinds of stuff I was reading. Imagine if they use it for insurance companies. Okay, insurance companies. So they go through, AI goes through your entire health records,
which are all online now.
Or through every ticket you've ever had since you were 16 years old. Just goes through it. What'll happen?
Is that what it sounds like when it does it?
The old ones do. The old
MS-DOS.
That's the old ones.
The floppy disks sound like
the
that.
new ones are electric, but the old ones are gasolines. Yeah, kerosene. That's what it said.
Okay.
But it's going to be able.
That's a dial-up.
It's going to be able to go through everything, and so all right. Let's be.
Here's a good thing though. Here's a good because
we'll lie.
So, but that's good, right? I mean, it's bad for those of us that would lie. I mean, I lied all the way through, when I was a kid to get jobs, and then was in way over my head and figured it out. They're using it in healthcare now to build sophisticated machines that can detect diseases and identify cancer cells. AI can help analyze chronic conditions with lab and other medical data to get early diagnosis that we human beings couldn't before. Also, they're using the combination of historical data and medical intelligence for the discovery of new drugs.
This happened recently. So they needed a new antibiotic for something that had come out. They discovered something new. They put it into 3 different AI engines, and it came up with like 6 different possible drugs that would work. And here's the thing. I think doctors, we have a friend that got diagnosed with something, and I sometimes think doctors on their own become mad scientists and try to experiment with drugs. I think like 1-to-1.
Yeah, to a degree. For sure.
My dad, they gave him stuff sometimes, and they kept switching it.
Well, they have incentives. They have financial incentives. Are.
But at one point, but if you had an AI, by the way, this might make WebMD instead of us guessing on the internet. I didn't even think about this. That's an interesting idea. So you go, here are my exact symptoms. And because when you go out to talk to a doctor, it's human 1-to-1. He's hearing you different than you're saying. But if you just type in AI, here are my symptoms, and the AI goes, here are the 6 things it could be, then you narrow those down.
WebMD already does that. It's either a skin rash or cancer.
It's
exactly.
Everything.
And I always pick cancer and go into the doctor's office like, oh no, I have cancer. And doctors are always like, oh God.
WebMD. Did you go to WebMD?
Great. They're using in agriculture. This is great. It can identify defects and nutrient deficiencies in the soil. They do this using computer vision, robotics, and machine learning applications. It can analyze where weeds are growing. The bots can help harvest crops at a higher volume and a faster pace than human laborers. So that would replace human beings. You'd have to have someone overseeing it.
It would have to be robot. You said robots can harvest crops faster?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Have you seen them?
And they do it perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to lay in your front yard eating a sandwich.
Which is what we had. I took pictures of it.
I mean, it's the plow, right? Like when we came up with that's a machine,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they could do a whole,
And they were like, we don't need slave labor. We have cotton gin. We have to feed in-house slaves. So is this just another level through history? Because all this would take to end this was one EMP.
Yeah.
Giant solar flare ruins all this. So what I would say to people is,
the
fallback will always be
humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it's
Unless
smart
it
enough,
kills us,
it'll create its own, impenetrable force field that an EMP cannot.
Or I thought you were
like
going to say it would create its own people. If it's smart enough, it'll just create a bunch of us.
That's what I'm waiting
don't
for.
Fight back.
Waiting for their AI girlfriend.
So let's say AI figures out that we are killing the planet. AI figures out that basically the con men that are currently running our government across the board are just bad for everybody, and it decides. And then it looks up like the Salvation Army, and it looks up people that are actually doing good work. It would save Tom Hanks, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it would be like Tom Hanks can stay.
It would replicate more Tom
Billie
Hanks.
Billie Eilish would stay. There'd be some good. Lady Gaga would be okay.
Yeah.
So
Dolly Parton.
So it just Dolly Parton definitely is sticking around. So it just basically goes on a mass assassination scale, takes out every douchebag.
AI.
We're good.
I typed in AI.
Well, I don't know if we're good, but I mean,
Yeah.
Based on our search, we're not good.
I'll probably still be here.
You'd be all right. You'd be all right. I may make it. I may lose a limb. It may give me a warning
Disable
shot.
you.
Just maim you.
Just be like, next time.
I typed
Next
in
time you will-
AI space G. And it finished it, girlfriend. So a lot of people have thought of this already. A developer made software to turn anyone into an AI girlfriend, starting with his own partner. So
I'm sorry. How do you do that?
He talks to her, Sasha, on Telegram. She sends him voice memos, texts, and even the occasional selfie. But Sasha is not real. She's an AI clone of his real life girlfriend. It's a bot called Girlfriend GPT, and he's now shared his code online for anyone to go and create their own AI girlfriends too. So I guess you could pick.
Yeah. Once a month, she gets all glitched out.
Do you see how great this is? I love Ray. Ray's my wife forever, but I create AI Ray. that basically calls me and tells me how great I am a couple
Yeah.
times a day.
Yeah.
It gives me it doesn't argue with me. It doesn't have its opinion. It's like
Right.
whatever you think, babe. And then I go home to her and I'm like,
I'd create
and
AI him that just shut up, never said anything.
it just never calls.
Just-
It never
It's like-
calls.
No.
It just sends shoes once in a while. Every 2 months, it sends a new pair of Louboutins.
Interesting. Go to AI. There's
But
a
I
girlfriend
still have,
GPT.
but I still have Ray watching TV, eating popcorn, and being my buddy at home. But during I would have,
As a backup.
you know. But here's
you
Need a
get
backup.
the extra that
not
you're missing.
not even as a backup. It would actually make this is an interesting idea.
Fill in the.
It would fill in the nobody loves me. And they go, no, Ray loves me. I because I have all this
She
evidence
tells
from
me
my.
all
She tells me all the time. She will not leave me.
You need to
alone.
download the data. You need to transfer the data, real time data, right?
What?
No, you just go to the. You
What are you
just
saying?
go schedule it. You'd say what are the personality traits?
Oh, would I have to? No, it would just use my voice, right?
Yeah, and
And-
picture. I put some pictures of her in it. It would come up with her.
Would
own. She would send me
you tell
selfies.
it what you wanted it to?
I think there's probably. Oh, I'm
say?
guessing that's what it does. I
Well,
mean,
after you do it,
All
let
right.
us know.
All right.
Who are you going to
I'll
base
tell
it
you now
on?
because
What are
I've
you
done
gonna
it.
base it on?
No.
What are you
Ryan
basing it on?
Reynolds?
That's Titus.
That's me.
Who's yours?
Oh man. Let's see. Selma Hayek.
Okay,
Let's see. Oh man.
do it.
What's your top? Selma
Top
Hayek?
top.
dream of dreams? J-Lo.
Yeah, she's a bit of a diva. I'm gonna say.
She
Go
is a
ahead.
lot of a diva.
She's a lot. She's a lot.
What else? Who else? Who's your
You,
top?
you can tell by the look on Ben Affleck's face lately.
Oh yeah.
They were
Yeah.
walking to the car
Yeah.
the other day, and I was like, and they just had video like.
He looks like an AI inventor.
But he
Like-
did that thing that guys do when they're fed up but they don't want to start a fight. He
yes.
was walking into the car. He opened the door. She got in the car, sat down, and he did that thing where he turned his head and went.
He always
So the way he
looks.
shut the door, he just did that.
He looks tired
Fucking
all
God.
the
Yeah.
time.
Live at the award show, and then
Yes.
he walked into a car. I was like, "Oh, this isn't going well."
Who's your top? How do you not know this?
Man, there's
He doesn't want to. Tell me.
Everybody
Yeah,
knows
it's
off the top of their
there's
head.
a whole list.
Do you
Who's
know
your
who
list?
he said? He's right there.
No, who I said a long time ago. Who would I say now?
Yeah, because it
Do you
does. It
know who
changes.
he
It
said?
You
changes.
don't get to say it. You
You've
don't-
already told this on the podcast,
Ah,
and you told it on stage.
So years ago, there was
You made a bit for a while.
There
Did
was
that
a-
not make the special?
Oh,
Get up on the mic.
I forgot it.
It was on. You were doing it.
What was her name again? I don't even know her name now.
I know her name now is Elliot.
Ellen Page.
Oh,
Ellen
Ellen
Page.
Page. Yeah.
And here's the weird thing.
Tell him.
You know, so they were out there. There was a bunch of people at the house at a party one time, and I thought she was cute. It was Ellen Page or Reese Witherspoon, and I was like, I think Ellen Page because she seems smart. And I guess I was identifying with the. Anyway, so we
It
were
was
also-
me, Janine, Mahogany. It was a bunch. Mahogany's partner, whose name just left my brain. Anyway, it was a bunch of women, and he was talking to us. And Mahogany said, "Who's yours, Chris?" And he says,
It couldn't go worse. It could not have gone worse.
the whole room.
It's like the women knew what was coming in the next 10 years. Like the women were like, oh, it's a dude.
How do they
She's
see-
becoming a dude. Yeah, they just started laughing.
Okay. Okay.
She's a dude now.
I get that they can see the differences, right?
He's a
The
dude.
early differences, right?
I think we were
And I had to
You
accept
can
that
track
I'm
it.
gay. I have to
think
accept
we
I'm a
were
gay
more
man. I have to accept it.
hysterical of all the people you could have chosen. He chose Ellen Page. He was shooting
Super
low.
smart. No, she's super smart. She's super smart.
He probably still is.
All right. Sorry.
Still smart. So what's the problem?
But it's haunted him for years. It's come up multiple times.
It will never go away.
Then
And
she became a dude, and that just took it to the next level.
And
It's just-
now every party at my house is, hey, Titus, how's your dream girl?
Have you seen Ellen's new post?
Oh, my God. But it's all right.
Topless.
I can't believe you can't think of. Everyone knows
He
there's.
doesn't want to tell
When
us.
I was younger, mine was Steven Tyler.
He's like 5'3".
It wasn't the Scorpion drummer?
No,
Maybe
I
that
just
had
kind of
something.
wanted to be him. I remember looking at him because I had been so sheltered, and I went to a private Christian school, and then now I'm sitting next to this like
Satan, a
yes, and
gargoyle.
I was like, I want to be.
Are you
that.
sure you just don't
You are
like
awesome?
a million scarves? Maybe you just like a lot of scarves.
I like scarves. I like thumb rings.
Yes, thumb
I
rings.
like tattoos.
By the way,
I like piercings.
you kind of wanted someone that looked like you, except more aged.
Yeah, but I didn't look like this yet. I was like very, I had on a turtleneck, I think, with blonde
No, I mean
hair.
Steven Tyler.
Oh yeah,
Long-
totally. Yes, I'm totally attracted to myself. 100%. I saw him in Bloomingdale's with Kenny. Kenny and I ran up his daughter. We ran upstairs because this lady goes, Steven Tyler's here. And we ran upstairs, and he's like 5'9", but he is about this big around. He is a tiny person.
Yeah.
And very graphic in person.
Like an ink drawing. He's like he's like a comic book come to life.
Alice Cooper's like, that guy's intense.
He's a little the contrast on the face.
Yes. Who was yours like high school, college time? High school, early comedy time? Farrah Fawcett? Everybody back then.
80s. I did like Sheena Easton for a minute.
Yes. Sheila E. I used to love Sheila E.
Sheila E. was great. Yeah, Sheila E. was great. Who else?
You know what my first crush?
Let me see actor-wise.
Donna Summer. Holy shit.
She did a song with you know, weird, because of Grease.
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
Oh, she was awesome. You know who I wanted to be?
Then I did a show with her, and I was like,
you did a show with her?
She was very sweet.
Yeah, we did a show.
Yeah.
I did a show at Ford's Theater for George Bush. For
Oh, she was very nice. Jane Fonda. I always wanted to
Jane
be.
Fonda.
Even
I thought
now.
Even
now, Jane Fonda. Still Jane Fonda.
Yeah, she was so beautiful. She's still beautiful.
Scenes from Barbarella are on my phone. Like, that's how,
okay.
Good Lord.
Now you can stop. Yeah, you now
you open up can
Why
of
are there scenes on your...
That's what I got when you wouldn't answer. I'm like, he knows what he's going to say, and we're all going to go, ew, or come on.
You can't be worse than Elliot Page. I mean...
Yeah, at least they're still women.
Look at him. Did that bit make it into the special?
No, my dad hung out with hot firemen. Remember that? I've said some things over the years that maybe I just need to face it.
When Stuntman Tommy...
Don't actually be embarrassed.
When Stuntman Tommy was on the podcast in our first year, right?
I mean, he was
And
cute.
I also loved her in... something I can't never remember the name.
In our first year, he goes, my dad hung out with a lot of hot firemen. Then denied that he said it. Then everyone wrote in and said, dude, you said it.
Let me be as embarrassed as I can be. Because I'm going back. I can feel it. My dad was a good-looking dude, and they all had women. The point was my dad
with mustaches.
With these dudes.
Okay.
No, he hung out with these dudes, all these single dudes, and they would go out on Friday night, and they would just destroy these singles dances. That's what I was trying to get to. But it came out. My dad hung out with a lot of hot firemen. That's how it came out. And so I'm like, and then I'm like, no, I didn't. And then they were like, let's rewind it. My dad hung out with a lot of hot firemen. God damn it! Who's my favorite? Ellen Page. Boo! I think I need to face that I am not who I am. I have never dealt with me.
You're funny. You're funny. We met these people outside of Dayton. Let me just say this. We had a great weekend. 3 out of 4 shows sold out.
Yep.
It's Ohio, and we were in 4 different cities total, 5 different cities over this past weekend. It was a very busy weekend. And then we flew out of Detroit, and but we did Dayton, and then Liberty Township, and then Toledo the last night. And the audiences were awesome.
Can I say that? Because, there's so many, to all you liberals out there, I know you guys are all thinking that there's the center part of the country. It's just a bunch of gun-toting redneck psychopaths who believe the earth is flat and that, JFK Jr. is coming back from the dead. I want you guys to know there are a lot of really just normal people, thinkers who are like, we go there and they're like, it's fucked, right? And I'm like, yeah, we're really...
Yeah. Well, also Ohio has had a lot of stuff. A lot of Nazi stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
She opened with a very funny joke. She said, "You guys know what's going on in Ohio, right? And you guys always ducking from all the Hylind Hitler."
I said, "Have you guys seen? You're in the news. Have you seen it, or are you just too busy ducking under the Heil Hitlers? I'm watching out for train derailments." Some people, like there was a guy on the front row of Liberty that I really poked at, and he was mad at first. Politically, and then I just kept poking at him, and then he started laughing and he let it go, and it was a great weekend. But what made me think of it was we met a guy. We both did. I met him first. I walked back over first, and he was in front of the club in Dayton, and he told me that you saved his life. That literally he was in a couple of moments when he was trying to get off drugs.
He's addicted to meth, actually.
He told me, I said, wow, that's no bullshit getting off drugs. And he goes, and it was meth. And I say, because I am my mother's daughter, no shit. And you still have teeth left. Like, why?
Yeah, that's good.
Why
That's-
do I
And
tell
he nodded. No, he was like, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
valid point.
But he had his new girlfriend there, and she said that she fell in love with him because he made her laugh.
Mhm.
And I said, right, like you just want, girls just want someone
Told my
that
son this yesterday.
can make, that isn't so uptight and flexing all the time. Certainly you flex all the time too, but you
It's recent.
make me laugh. You really do.
Well, I'm not. I've started working out hard, and I'm trying to. By the way, I only flex for you, so you're.
Fitbod has rocked his world.
You want
That's
me? I'm trying to. I'll never be Idris Elba, but I'm trying.
It's going to be real hard.
You're Idris Elbow.
For you to be-
You're Chris.
Come on, guys. Idris Elba is James Bond. Come on.
They set it up in the last movie. There was a
Luther.
movie on Netflix. They said, "Did you see the movie with Idris Elba on
You know,
Netflix?" They
he
did
was on a show called Luther for
so
BBC.
they did a Luther movie at the end of
Yes.
it. The very last scene after he's set, and it was very James Bond
Yes,
the way they did
yes.
it. They go, well, you're not with the service anymore, but MI6 wants to talk to you, and then the MI6 pulls up and he's
Damn
like,
it! I had it in my queue. Now it's spoiled.
and he's like,
Oh, you
he's
just
like,
told him the
"Oh,
ending."
No.
I'll still. All right.
It was an add-on. The movie's great.
Cool.
But the movie's fine.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
No, they don't say. He's like, now what?
If you
That's how it
haven't-
ends.
If you haven't watched Luther, the TV show on BBC, man, my mom loved it. My brother, my whole family. That's where I fell in love with Idris Elba. He's a badass. This episode brought to you today by Athletic Greens,
Yep.
AG1 by Athletic Greens.
Feel better.
Had it today. It helps me. I will say I noticed a difference because this weekend I forgot to take it with me. I forgot. And
The travel works on her stomach. I don't know why
Oy.
travel works on your digestive system. So
it
much.
works on everything for me.
It
It's
must be
like
made out of aluminum or something because nothing changes.
I get heavy fatigue, jet lagged. But yeah, so I noticed that in the morning. So for me, when I take AG1, I notice instantly that's where I get my energy bump in the morning. Not coffee first. I do this first and then have coffee. And so I didn't have it. And it was really interesting how noticeably different it was for me. My gut also this weekend was not happy at all.
It evens, if I take it in the morning, it evens my energy out a bit. I mean, the way I feel personally is like it just evens everything out. I just feel better.
Yeah. Well, you also just feel like you're doing something good for your body,
Yeah.
which there's so many things that we do that aren't good for our bodies.
And it doesn't taste like grass clippings.
No,
Mhm.
thank God. It tastes tropical, you guys. You have to try this stuff. It's hard for me to keep up with supplements. I've told you guys this before because I forget. I just flat out forget. And so I have AG1 by Athletic Greens in a green metal tin that they send you. I have it sitting eye level on the pantry shelf. I get up in the morning, you take a scoop of it, put it in a shaker bottle. I do the D3 dropper in there, little water, shake it up. That's all you have to do to get all of those things that your body needs. 75 vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality. You get benefits like gut, mood support, better hair, skin, nails, energy, boosted energy, things like that. So highly recommend it. It also gets delivered to you every month. So you
got a
don't
lot
have
of
to
stuff
leave
in
your
it.
house to do all these good things for yourself.
It's got a lot of stuff in it.
It has a lot of stuff in it, and you can go on their website and read what all those things are and then realize you will never get all those things in your body if you try and do it
Right.
on your own. So AG1 by Athletic Greens makes it easier. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase.
What?
Go to athleticgreens.com/Titus. That's athleticgreens.com/Titus. Check it out.
It's good stuff. Every time we get to I always wonder because I never ask what the ads are, and we get to them. I'm like, oh, I like that one. Oh, I like that.
Well, because we only do things that we like.
That's true.
But this one,
there's not one I've ever gone. Nope.
it was actually really surprising this weekend
Hmm.
because you get used to feeling good.
Right. So you thought you didn't need it, and then you forgot it, and then when you got there, you're like, oh my god, I need my AG1.
Oh yeah.
I got it.
No.
Totally got it. That's how I felt. I started taking. I saw there was an interesting thing on. I'm on Instagram all the time now. I'm off Twitter. By the way, Twitter is now worth a third of what Elon Musk paid for it.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. By the way, if Tom Hanks had bought it, I'd be like, oh my god,
Yeah.
we got to help Tom Hanks make Twitter better. But because it's Elon Musk, he's the darkest soul. I was talking to I talked to Fetus on the way in today.
Oh, you did.
Ask how the marriage is going. He's doing fine.
Good.
They want to have dinner with us.
Fetus got married.
Fetus
Everybody
got married, and he was talking. He wants me to help him find an SUV, a small SUV. He needs a new car. So I said, so we started talking about that. I brought up the electric cars because they have that nice house and they can plug it in. And he goes, I can't. He goes, I cannot buy a car from Tesla. I can't.
Mhm.
The guy is such a dark guy. And I asked him, I go, did you see him do that thing where they asked him about why because they're letting dead bodies on Twitter now. There's video of a guy who ran over a bush thinking not knowing a kid was in it and popped the kid's head. And the video of it is on Twitter. Like I watched it. I started following something else.
Is that did AI put that up?
Are you serious?
What?
It's so disgusting.
But and you can say there's no editing anymore. Like there's no editing. You can before how sometimes I used to get before I got a little more enlightened. And I'm like, you dumb motherfucker. If you put that on Twitter now, it just stays. Before they go, hey,
wait, you can't go back and delete.
No, you can say anything now, and it doesn't ever get flagged.
Right, like self-editing.
You can say anything.
Yeah.
You can make up bullshit about the vaccine.
You can actually bomb the Pentagon.
Yeah, exactly. You can, and it doesn't get taken out. So they basically, and the funny thing to me is that that's not a quality product, and people want a quality product. A quality product is something that what I like about Instagram is that it starts to give you what you like, and then I'm into positive. Give me I'm motivated now. Instagram motivates me. Oh yeah, if I do that, these 7 things, whatever. And in Instagram, if I even respond to someone who commented on something shitty about one of my specials or whatever, and I'm like, you're a dumbass. It goes, hey, do you really want to post that?
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a quality.
I didn't know that because it's never happened to me.
Yeah, because you're really nice.
Oh, okay.
I was raised by different people.
Oh.
And
that's the truth.
With Instagram, it's at least making an effort to tailor it based on your preferences, right? Whereas Twitter,
but also
nothing. Just put whatever it is.
But there's also a standard. There's a standard of a standard of decorum.
Yeah,
which is something that we need on the planet. Or else AI is going to.
It's going to take it all in.
It's going to be like, guys, you're a bunch of assholes, and these people over here, Tom Hanks, you're cool, and then
just because you have the thought in there, you don't need to burn.
Alec Baldwin's on the ragged edge. He may go either way, but we're going to have to. It could just assassinate us all, but because you're on Instagram, it's not. But Twitter's really bad now. The video, I just want to say, go watch the video of Elon Musk responding to a reporter, and he quotes The Princess Bride. And I'm not saying the quote. Watch what he said. Watch what he says. Watch how he looks.
It's the weirdest thing.
He's dark as fuck. I was like, wow, this is a guy who said he invented the electric car to change humanity. He wants to go to Mars, and you realize that was bullshit.
Yeah, he's pathological.
Speaking of being a good person, I don't know.
Nice.
We are both going to be performing for the Go campaign. This is June 10th. It is going to be, so Vintage Hollywood has selected, this is Vintage Hollywood 2023. You can go, we'll post this on our socials too. It's going to be in Santa Monica at the Park Santa Monica on the rooftop. It's going to start at 6:00. We are hosting this. So Vintage Hollywood has selected Go campaign for the 3rd time. Go campaign. We know the person, one of the people behind it. It's going to be a really cool night with really top level food vendors and wine, drinks.
Big shots showing up. Very big.
Some very cool. Very cool. But Go campaign was started in 2006, and it aims to improve the lives of vulnerable children around the world by partnering with local heroes to deliver local solutions. They're all over the world, and they have helped over 192,000 kids. And I said, we can say no to a lot of people, but not to foster kids or homeless kids.
Our charity, the Insight Youth Project, was for foster kids. So we decided that we're gonna give our energy to this because it's the same thing basically.
And so if you're in LA or LA area, it's June 10th. There are tickets available. And it's just going to be really good food and drinks and us really
And
flailing.
and you get to rub elbows with some kind of big shits. Not failing.
Big
I
shits?
know exactly.
He just said big shits. He
big
did.
shots. In LA, it's big shits. This guy's a big shit. This guy.
So June 10th, we're going to post the info on our socials, but come hang out with us. We'll be roaming prior to.
I also want to talk about, I got a text from the lovely Nils Lofgren yesterday. He's got a new album out, and he sent me
good.
He sent me a bunch of cool songs. People, go look up Nils Lofgren's new album.
There was one for Amy.
One for there's this great song for Amy, but he sent me one about God, I don't have my phone, the name of it. I listened to it and I sent it to Billy, and Billy was like, "Oh, this is great. It's about his struggle through drugs and recovery. It kicks ass, and the riff in it, people.
Nothing's Easy for Amy. That's the one. Ain't the Truth Enough. This new album. What is the name of the new album? Do you know?
No, but I know that
people?
Ringo Starr plays
Mountains.
on it. Mountains. Ringo Starr's playing on it. We've got vocals
Neil Young.
from Neil Young on it. It's like, what?
Who are these guys?
Like Nils Lofgren is such a badass motherfucker that basically he just goes, "Hey, can will Neil Young sing backup on it? Ringo, the guy from the Beatles, can you play
the shaker on this? Get in on it.
Ain't the truth enough is one of the songs that he's featuring. But anyway, the album's called Mountains.
It is
Ain't the
so
truth
good. And now playing guitar for now 7 or 8 years and not well, I just know enough to know how shitty I really am and to know how good he really is.
So we went and saw The Cure. And I had picked out these seats. This is a bucket list thing for me. I've always wanted to see The Cure since I first became moody and petulant and wore black in high school.
4th row at the Hollywood Bowl.
So I didn't know I got these seats. They were where Vivid Seats bought them, and because the show was sold out. Got them and kept thinking, these are crap seats. There's no reason why they were still available.
You felt Robert Smith's hair.
Dude, I am not. So we were
the shadow of his belly. We were in the shadow of his belly when he was backlit.
What was it called? We were in the...
It was a front section right at the front, the pit, the garden, whatever it's called.
But there were seats, but we were on the 4th row. But
you're in the band.
All of us
at that point
you can just stand up, and most people did, and you're right there on the wall, under. But we were right there with him.
That's cool.
And we took Jen and Zach, and I'll tell you, you talking about Nils, it was a bucket list thing. It was really fun and really cool. I wouldn't do it again. Eagles, I desperately want to do again. Springsteen over and over and over. Seeing Nils. So you said this, Robert Smith and his guitarist.
At one point, lead guitarist and the other guitar and the bass player, they do that thing face to face where like they're jamming. And again, I know enough about guitar now. I'm watching.
But also,
there's no solo. It's ding 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 ding.
But when Nils,
it wasn't Nils going up
so
and
they're
down.
not following each other's. Where are you going?
There was
we
no
know
solo.
Where we're going.
You guys are playing
when
rhythm.
Nils and Bruce do it's like, or when Tom Morello was with Bruce, when they go face to face, it's like
Prince.
Oh,
you're like, I don't know where you're gonna go, so let me watch you.
No, but they were doing. It was like we're
going
posing.
G.
It was
D.
G, E minor, G, E minor, D, I was watching it going. They're not what. But they both got their legs spread up, and I was like, they're not. And watching their hands and nothing. When Nils goes solo,
yes.
So Nils, by the way, go to YouTube, and so when Prince died, Nils, and I keep bringing this up. So Nils gets a call from Bruce. This is what I heard, and Nils goes, Bruce. I go because I saw it, and then I called. I'm like, Nils, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Bruce calls that afternoon and goes, Prince died. We're gonna open with Purple Rain. And Nils being the genius he is goes, okay.
Gotta go
and he goes and learns it. He spends 4 hours breaking it down, then adding his own thing. Watch the solo he does the first night they opened with Purple Rain. It's like, it's at one point Bruce just walks forward. I've said this before. Here's how good Nils is. Bruce Springsteen. It's Bruce freaking Springsteen. Yeah. Nils is jamming so hard. And Nils is very, very deferential to Bruce. He knows. Nils knows which band he's in. He looks at Bruce and he starts to back up, and Bruce goes, sends him back out, and then he does this other Yeah, solo. So when we were watching Robert Smith and his guys, they were great, by the way. Just to be clear, they were great. It was an unusual concert. It was
very
great.
unusual.
The Robert Smith is now a John Belushi character.
Yes.
He's a bizarre.
He opens by kind of walking like this with his gut, and Hollywood Bowl sold out 3 nights. And walks to the side. He's got the crazy red lipstick and all that, but but dad bod,
Yeah.
And then he goes kind of like this and stands and goes and looks at that section and looks around, not talking. Then he goes over to this section. That was the opening. No talking, no music,
he moseyed
no nothing.
Section to section, looked at the entire Hollywood Bowl, and then started. Then finally,
it was really interesting.
I said, I go to her, I go, this is the most unusual beginning to a concert I've ever seen. It's like if I went out in Ohio and just stared at the audience. And then stared at the audience.
For 6 minutes.
Yeah, they couldn't clap that long. At one point, we're like, it's kind of quiet in here. And you're still doing it.
Was he out of breath? I mean, I don't understand why.
I think he was being with each section. He was looking people in the eye and he was appreciative. And so that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't evil. It wasn't. Yeah.
He was grounding himself, I think. And, but they played a lot of songs.
New songs.
Dark. Well, no, those weren't new. You just weren't a Cure fan. But
did he do a little Help from My Friends? Like a really good rendition?
When he would hit, just like when he hit Just Like Heaven, they waited to do that for their first encore. And I would have come out, bang out the hits, man. Let's not do all the moody, goth, dark, petulant music. Yeah. Bang out the hits. Yeah. And every time that would happen, everybody would be up screaming again. And so it was really surreal to have really loved them and then to see them live, but I wouldn't.
Can I talk about the Hollywood Bowl concessions? So I wanted 1 glass of wine. I thought I'm gonna have 1 glass. I just want a glass.
We were flying,
and you bought another ticket.
Next day, I stopped drinking. I've really I've just cut my drinking down to almost just nil. I mean, went from like half a bottle to a bottle a day, and to like maybe once a week.
Yeah.
And then only 2 glasses at the most.
Yeah.
So I'm out and I feel so much better. I have to be honest. It has made a huge difference in my life. And and so I go, I'm at the Cure. I'm going to have a glass of wine. So they show back up. It's a plastic cup this big with an entire bottle of wine poured into it. And they're like, here. I'm like, what? And they go, well, you have to buy the whole bottle. I'm like, well,
what?
Fuck.
Since when?
Because of the section we were in, the pit or garden, you can have servers. You have a wristband. You've got your own bathroom area. You've got servers.
It's first class.
It was Seamless or Grubhub or someone.
I have a thing.
So they served him the whole bottle in a giant plastic cup. Now he could have put it down.
I did. We had cups. I kept filling it. You don't know how many times I filled your glass.
I didn't. I just kept handing it back to you.
And I just kept filling it. I didn't drink. Just so you know, I had
Friday,
maybe half of it. He drank it. She's like, I love that guy.
Jen had a whole bottle of white wine too, which the next day you guys were both commiserating. Like, why? We had to fly to Ohio.
They forced you to buy the whole bottle. You couldn't just get it.
I guess they can't open it.
Because you can't have glass.
Yeah, but
in the garden area, so they have to pour everything into plastic. But
I think the way they buy it, like, it was crazy. I was like, this is way too much. By the way, about concerts, yes, we brag about going to concerts. It's not because I made a decision a long time ago. I went to one concert where I sat up in the nosebleeds, and I decided that if I love somebody so much that I'm going to go see them perform live. That's a big. If you're a fan of somebody, you want to see them live. It's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And you want to see the best you can. I believe in life that there's certain things you should just go. I'm going first class on this, no matter what. So I have spent money when I didn't have it to go to concerts that I was like, nope, because I don't go a lot. But when we go, I've been very blessed to be able to be close.
Springsteen, we get access.
We got
that. We're very blessed to have.
We've been lucky.
Everlast, brilliant. Live.
Yeah.
Coolest experience ever to have him right here, literally right here,
where we're sitting,
playing live
during COVID. Yeah, that was awesome.
It was but the first time we saw him, we thought he was amazing too.
Yep,
great performance.
We saw him in this club in San Diego, man, and I toured with him. That's how he went to Iraq. We went to Iraq together. I saw Everlast. I played with Everlast. Did a show with Everlast in a room at a forward operating base in their cafeteria with guys who had just come off a mission, and they were still had dirt on them, and they made them mandatory fun. Get in there. There's a show. They were worried about us. I'm like, hey, you guys can sleep. You never last to play chess. It's fine.
That's the one thing that AI will, at least until there's some unless you're Daft Punk, AI is not going to replace like a human. Seeing a human perform the thing.
Did you know
liked.
Daft Punk retired? Finally, they took the helmets off.
No.
And it was a robot underneath.
Exactly.
That'd be fast. Way funnier. It's another robot.
Yeah, so their career spanned, I think, like 30 years. 30 years. I told him it was the most brilliant thing ever to wear the helmets because they never aged.
Yeah.
So his kids, we are taking them to school and they're rocking out to Daft Punk. I rocked out to Daft Punk when I was in high school and they had already been around for you, right? They never aged, but they retired last year in 2021. And
Steven Tyler put the helmet on.
Is there a picture of what they look like?
Let me see.
It's like a crypt keeper underneath.
So that one song,
yeah.
Around the world.
Night to get lucky.
Night to get lucky. What?
We're up all night
to get lucky.
Well, it sounded like Jed going to school when that song came out. He's going, why is it saying Mexican lucky? It got the Mexican lucky. And it kind of sounds like it. I'm like, why is it saying Mexican lucky?
We were fine with him thinking it was that instead of, he was a little young to talk about getting lucky, what it meant. I don't know. I'll find it. But yeah, they finally said they're done. 30-year career.
They tried already. You remember when they had the Tupac hologram at Coachella? They've tried. You're right. It's not going to happen. The one thing they won't be able to replicate is, though I'm sure Vegas will put on a robotic show. I'm sure, but
it's like a Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, you can.
Yeah, but it won't be. But it won't be. Well, I mean, if you look at what Disney did with the Hall of Presidents, I mean, there's always something. It's possible. What I would go pay to see is like the Boston robotics things doing flips and stuff. I'd go see it Cirque du Soleil with robots. I'd go see it, but it would not last very long because it's boring and they're programmed to do exactly the same thing.
Right.
You know.
The thing about even what Robert Smith was doing, it creeped some people out. But I said to him later, he was being with all of us. There was an appreciation, and it would be very easy to become untethered. Performing in a sold out Hollywood Bowl. And so he's grounding himself. It's like, I'm here with you. I'm looking. And he would go from you to him to me and look, and the connection of Springsteen, Beyonce, one of the best live performances I've ever seen, connecting with their audience, getting emotional, being with people, looking people in the eye, reacting off of, Bruce reacts off of what people are doing and the signs they have. You could never replicate that.
Yeah. It's a shared experience that it's something in you emotionally that you can connect with.
Yes.
And if you know that.
When it's the best, it's literally like you're tuned in. Yes.
And there's potential like flaws and mistakes that end up being like great mistakes. Yeah. That if you're looking at a hologram or a robot that's something pre-programmed, you're not automatically you're not going to have that same connection.
Speaking of this, recently I saw it was on Instagram. Someone was filming Bruce. He's touring Europe right now. He's in Amsterdam.
Oh yeah.
And as Springsteen, he's finished his song. He's wearing high tops, and he gets on and he steps up the riser. And on the third riser, he trips and goes down. By the way, so great to watch a guy who he protects his guitar. He's holding it. He holds it up, and Nils runs over and grabs it out of his hands, and they help Bruce up. And Bruce turns to the audience. He goes, "Good night, everybody." But that wouldn't happen with a robot, And then he started playing.
Us seeing him, that happy accident of Tom Morello coming to see them perform before Tom Morello went out on the road with them, doing the Ghost of Tom Joad.
We got to see the first night they did Ghost of Tom Joad together. And I turned around and go, "You'll never see this again."
We knew, everyone knew in the arena that we were part of something really special, because Tom Morello at one point is doing the up and and Bruce just stands back, like you could see him like,
Steve Van Zandt goes, you see a mouth, what the fuck?
And then because of that, they toured together. So it's stuff like that you would never.
So people, I'll tell you this one thing. Even when I had no money, and if you want to go see somebody great, you'll get the money back. It's just money.
I was thinking it was things have happened to you on stage, like when your tooth fell out in Dallas.
My tooth shot out in the lights. Yeah.
This week,
It was I had veneers, and they used to come unglued because my dentist was he was psychotic.
Go watch that special now. Zero Side Effects.
Zero
It's
Side,
available for free on
teeth
YouTube.
went dink in the lights, and I can see it. The lights are reflecting on the tube. And I told the audience, "Wow, one of my tooths just came out," and they thought it was awesome.
This weekend, you got off stage. I forget what night it was, and you were so grossed out. Do you remember this?
Oh, okay. What night was this?
I wasn't gonna say, but you know who you are.
Somebody shit kimchi farts, and
That's how good you were.
They had eaten. I'm in the front row. Listen, assholes, get up, walk outside. Someone in the front row,
And it wafted up.
they dropped a nuclear
Damn.
potato of pure shit. And then I'm walking through it. Here's how bad it was. Now you smell it. You ever have before you could taste? I'm like, and I don't know. And I was like, I'm walking this. I'm in the middle of a bit. I'm like,
Was it? Did they yell out, "This is what I think of you"?
No,
before that?
Like, yeah. I don't fart heckle me. Don't fart heckle me. Don't.
That's
just don't.
what he said. He got off stage. He goes, "I just got fart heckled." Which you don't you know when you're performing. You guys might not know this. Your body goes to a different level.
Uh-huh.
You don't feel anything. You're not sick.
You're
It's
thinking-
pure adrenaline.
You're thinking 50 times faster
So
than
for
you normally
him
think.
to notice something like that, it had. I go, you noticed?
It
You
was
could
eye
smell-
crossing. I walked across the stage like I got to bring this up, and I thought, nope, it's going to be weird because then I'm no one's gonna.
Was anybody passing out next to the?
Man, it was like so. It was they were right at the stage. It was like
It's like a
1, 2,
crop
3,
circle.
like 5.
It just
They crop
everything
dusted,
laid down.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I started doing this thing where I'm like, which one of you motherfuckers? I'm looking for who it could have been and starting to make weird judgments on people. And then I realized, get back in the show, dude. It was horrible.
It had to be. It had to
You
be
should-
really
Wow.
bad to notice.
Yeah, it
something
was
like
one of
that.
those ones where you could taste it. I'm like,
But the food that they serve in the clubs is maybe
not the best.
It's a lot of cheese on that front row.
yeah. I could have been that guy's fighter pilot name, Lot of Cheese. Because wow.
We have a few weeks off. Yay.
I'm gonna get that car
I'm gonna
finished.
go check on my old pops, and we are going to be in Nashville at Zany's. We haven't been there in quite a while.
Right.
So June 23rd and 24th, the weekend after Father's Day. Oh crap! I could be with my dad for Father's Day. Nashville, Zany's, 23rd, 24th. That Go Campaign Vintage Hollywood Night is June 10th, so come see us then. And yeah, I'm excited about having a few weeks off and being able to farm.
Well, I got to finish that. That car. We got to get these cars out of here. I've been sitting here for years. As long as Kim. I guess I've done some.
I've been here
work,
29 years. You've been saying
It's. I'm
I'm
going to
get to finish the
I thought the
car.
same thing.
And we're gonna
Also
finish.
coming up in July, Omaha, those shows always sell out, and they were already pretty packed when I talked to her last week. So that's the 14th and the 15th, and then the 28th and 29th is Des Moines Funny Bone, and then Kansas City Improv.
And guys, we're going to be doing the sketch show. We're filming the rest of the sketch show. We had a big glitch and we couldn't do it, so we will be doing it in June. And it gives him and us more time to get it right. Yeah. All right, we good?
I'm good. Are you good?
Well,
Except for my
people, go get Nils Lofgren's new album. Holy shit, it is so good, and it's like a master at the best he's ever been. The guitar, the riff in this song that he played.
I need to hear it.
the song. So good. It's so good. It is. I'll tell you what, it's better than The Cure, is what I will say.
Well, I love Nils, but I will say, just like you have to admit, Robert Smith sounds insane live.
He sounded
Perfect.
Just like the, yeah.
Just
sounded
like the
just like
album.
it, which is weird.
Remember back in the day,
Mhm.
this is an old person thing, when Bruce sounds
actually sang.
just like what
Yeah.
he sounds
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
live. Everlast,
Mhm.
even better live.
Prince all the way to the end of his life.
Prince.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we were blown away by how good he sounded.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Knock 'em Dead, the podcast is coming out. We've had this whole migration thing happening with Libsyn. So now we got moved. I need to tell you about all that. But it's happening in a couple weeks with a really, really, really cool first guest.
Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Go to Christopher Titus TV. 9 of my specials are up there now. The new one, Zero Side Effects. Guys, thanks for all the good comments and everything you guys say. Go to ChristopherTitus.com for any merch. There's a new shirt coming out, a new Carrying Monster shirt, tour shirt.
Super cool.
Yeah, and posters. We're going to do posters too.
And now.
I know
Don't
what
forget
I'm
him.
doing. What are you
Well,
doing?
we almost forgot him last week.
Oh, and now it's time for Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts.
I'm ending on the wrong note. Facts.
Well, the opening was really shite, but you really brought it home, and it was good.
Good. All right.
Yeah, the end of
Now, what do we got?
I have two speaking ofs.
Okay.
Two speaking ofs.
Okay.
Speaking of Dolly Parton,
Yep.
she once entered a Dolly Parton lookalike contest
No way.
and lost.
No way.
Even better, speaking of, she lost to a drag queen.
Are you serious?
That's awesome.
Where was that?
I don't know. Dollyville. I don't know.
That's insane, and she lost. It's like Danny Trejo saying once that he was tired of reading breakdowns, like auditions that said a Danny Trejo type, and he's like, I need work. Let me work.
Yeah.
It's like me going up for Joel McHale lookalike contest,
Exactly.
and Joel McHale being in it with me and losing. That's awesome.
Well, it's like Chad GPT saying, write this like Christopher Titus, and it's like, hey-oh.
By the way, guys, 75% of the Armageddon update was written by ChatGPT. I just punched up some stuff, so it was weird. There was a weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
AI is a little weird. Hopefully, it'll be good. Hopefully, we won't end humanity. And if we do, with the last Armageddon update, we'll be like, fuck. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. For myself, the lovely Bomb Show, and the Highlander. Later.
Peace
Nigga.
out.
I almost messed up your app.
Go ahead, you go.
There can be only one.
No.
Later.
Bye.
Peace out.
There can be only one.
There you go.